welcome to the Road to Happy.
Thank you.
Thank you boys for coming out today. We've known each other a long time, but we ain't seen each other a long time.
No.
So what you boys been doing for the last 22, 23 years? What's been going on?
Well, racing for me came at a bit of an abrupt end, probably like all three of us really.
Yeah.
So it all, a bit of a crash, and then a bit disheartened, a bit of an injury, a bit of an off-season. You realise you're pretty a throwaway piece of kit for most people. You work hard at it.
Yeah.
And then you get a bit disheartened, and you don't realise at the time that actually it's a big thing to be thrown away. And then you quickly look for something else to fill the gap. You quickly realise there's nothing else out there like it.
Yeah.
And then you put your head down and crack on with life, didn't you?
Yeah.
So like I jacked it completely when I was 20, I think, actually. What was it, about 20? Same age as you, year older than me,
96,
weren't you?
96, 97.
That was it. And then I painted cars for a living for a couple of years and then went to college because I barely went to school because of bikes and stuff, and then became a teacher. And that's me, been a teacher for 20 years now.
Man.
Yeah, but
20 years.
20 years now, yeah. We're old, mind.
I know.
Yeah. Enjoy it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. But I think what I did, like off-season stuff, when I was injured, I used to do a little bit of coaching for young kids.
Yeah.
So, and a couple of them, Lewis Gregory and that, they turned out pretty well.
Okay.
It weren't me, but it was like you get involved in it and everything else, and it's a nice thing to do. But I love it because it's a sharing thing, and it's every day's different. But you're always looking for a buzz of something else. Hence, we're here like a bunch of old men prattling around on push bikes, isn't it?
Well, it's a lot cheaper than going to buy a Porsche, isn't it?
Just a bit.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And classier.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Chris? What you been up to, man?
Well, motocross come to an end 95, sort of, yeah. Injuries, I finished 93 as a cracking year. I did okay to start in 93, 94, and then my shoulder popped out training with you down the dunes.
Yeah.
And that was the start of just sort of injury problems. I had a shoulder op. And the thing is, when you're young, you're fit because you're riding your bike, you're out on your BMX, you're out messing about with your mates, and you're not down the pub or drinking, and you have an injury when you're 18, 19, you go down the pub, don't you?
Yeah.
And it just takes the edge off it, and I never really got my edge back. Like me and my old man, we sort of fell out over it, and it was a good few years where we did speak. Well, we never really fell out, but it wasn't so much, he couldn't communicate and sort of express his feelings, and I couldn't either. So I went to Australia. A friend of mine in 96 said, let's go around the world. It's got in March 96 we had a round the world ticket. So I left motocross on a little bit of a downer, but I had this wicked year, amazing year in Australia. We started off in San Fran, Hawaii, Fiji, Australia. And I had this wicked year. I got a job in a bike shop, worked in a bike shop in Sydney, and so for me it kind of was like a sort of like a cushion from the fall of doing motocross constantly, because it's way of life. It's a massive buzz, and you can't replicate it or recreate it in anything else other than bikes.
Yeah.
So it was a really good year, and one of my best years of my life. So that really softened the blow. And then I come back, went to get a job, worked for my old man for a bit.
Reality bites.
Yeah, reality bikes. Worked for my old man a bit. I worked in a bank. I worked in building society. I worked in a glass factory. I worked in a bar, in the kitchen. I've done all sorts, jack of all trades, master of none sort of thing.
Yeah.
I retrained to be a plumber after so many years. Did that for a bit. Kids come along, and my wife was the main earner, so I had to do the kids. And then a chance sort of message on Facebook with Mark Thomas, sort of reconnected. Do you know Mark Thomas?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
reconnected, and he's got this bike program down in Cardiff, and offered me a job. I did it for free to start with, to see if I like it. Then agency, and now got a contract with the council, and it's a good thing.
Awesome.
So we're basically teachers.
No, he rides bikes every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
I don't stand in the
Living
classroom.
the
No,
dream. as
yeah,
they say.
exactly.
Living
Yeah.
the
Get
dream.
paid to ride bikes.
Yeah. Nice.
yeah.
Mess about on bikes.
It's crazy that like, the people I've spoke to since I've been back riding, the journey out of the ones that gave up early, the ones that quit early or had to or retired, it's the very similar path.
Yeah.
It's a very similar path of poking loads of fires. Trying to,
You're trying to do something
you
that
know,
really
I'm
gets.
like you said, I've done a million and one things. Like when I left school at 14 and straight on a building site with my dad, labouring for my dad. And at 19, I borrowed £2,000 off him and went and started being a car valeter.
Yeah.
A year later, I had a car wash. I've been a football coach. I've fitted kitchens. I've done, and it's crazy, isn't it? It's the same sort of the vibe when you're trying to poke them fires, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think you know what you want though, do you, when you finish racing? Because that's it, like you said, that's your life. That's all you think about, dream about, train, do, up. That's it. And then as soon as it's over, it's like, what am I good at? What do I do? What do I want to do?
Yeah.
You got to try loads of different things, haven't you?
How did you get through that at a young age? How did you get past that moment of despair of fuck? What am I gonna do now? How did you?
I don't know. It
Did you just keep going like we used to when we rode. Just keep going?
It's sort of when you're 18, 19, life's happening really fast. You've got lots of distractions. You know, the pub, the fair sex, and all that. And then I went away for a year, so it was. It all happened so fast, and I remember my old man saying, he said, "Look, this is your one shot. What you don't want to do is regret in a few years' time. You don't want to get in like 5 years' time and regret. You know, I was there and I had it, and I completely understand that. But I've got no regrets really, because I don't think I was the next world champion. I could have done okay in the British, but when the fun sort of goes from it, and it's becoming, it's hard for me to explain, but. Like we talked about earlier, when you're battling for points at 14th and 15th, it's not like winning the race, is it?
I think you become a young adult as well, don't you? You've like I said, everything's bred on confidence. So we all got to the stage where we were winning. If we weren't winning, we were really close, and you rely on it. And then you go on the adults, and you don't mind taking the knocks. But there gets to be quite a few knocks, and then you start to doubt yourself a little bit, and then you're at that age when other stuff does start creeping in.
And sports are up there.
Yeah, it's
sports
mental.
are up
All
there.
of it's mental.
You need that, but it's all up there. And if that goes,
and I think you're the one as well. You're the one that calls it, because your parents won't, because they're just like all of our parents. My old man was just he lived it more than I did towards the end, and you're more worried about saying that's it for other people's sake, because for me, if it was up to me, it'd have been probably a year earlier. I'd have gone, nah, that's it. The fun's out of it. Like you said, it's going well. I'm going quick. I've lost the fight and the love of it to a point, but you can't do that, because you know it costs so much every year just to go out and have a race. It's not fair. So it comes to a point, and like me and my old track fella, I moved out. I think straight away for about a year. Yeah, I moved in with my sister for about a year, and it was shit. But I think they also then they do realise and accept the fact that you're of an age and it's not maybe going to work out. And I think it's a big family hit.
1,000%.
Whether you're all together doing it, like you were talking, your folks with me, my old man was like, that was the earth gone. That was it. And there was no in between. It was you either racing or you didn't touch a bike. There was no ride for fun. It was you were doing it.
I think that's kind of
nothing.
I think that's maybe where we went a little bit wrong, because like I had injuries, you had injuries, and coming back, going straight into the British at the top level. I think that's the only mistake we sort of done. We should have maybe just done a year where we did clubs and just build your confidence and build it.
There's no network to kind of to look after people like that. If someone, probably now these days, with probably people looking over like a professional sport, because you're at that brink of it being professional, they probably go, right, disappear for 12 months, get your shit together, go and win, go and get your confidence right up, go and get your mojo going, and then hit it when you think you're going to come and do damage. Don't do it when you think you're going to do all right.
Yeah.
Because it's the all right bit that ruins it, I think, for you. Week in, week out, you're doing all right, and you run out of excuses. And I think the reality is you're not quite in the same headspace that you were when you were at that max confidence level, and your speed drops off then because you're just not doing it the same.
Yeah.
And it's fine margins when you're when you race at a certain level. It's If you're thinking about something, well, you're not committed. That's 1.1 of a second every lap there, and then you've got a few more, and before you know it, you're a second a lap down on the guy you beaten last year. You know.
Yeah.
And it's such fine margins, and if you lose that little tiny bit.
We're competitive animals, though, aren't we? You know, you don't like being done over. Once maybe is alright, twice is alright. Fucking half a year, you're like, hang on a minute.
I know.
You've never forgiven me, have you?
Never.
It's tricky, especially when you're young. Like when I was coaching, trying to convince a young kid that's not sure, that knows he's talented, but's not sure whether he wants to carry on, trying to convince that kid to keep pushing and keep going is very difficult. It's got to be the person.
Yeah,
it's got to come from them.
It's got to come from the person.
You can guide him.
Yeah, for sure.
I have got a story of, it was after my shoulder, because I'd done my shoulder, so I had an operation on my shoulder. 3 months rehab, trying to get back fit, practicing. We turned up at Canada Heights on, I think, the 3rd lap of practice. My bike seized going over a jump, and James Payton landed on me because the marshal was looking the wrong way. The marshal was looking down. She was still looking down. I say she, it could have been he, looking down the track even after we'd come off. So James Payton landed on this side. It dislocated my thumb, and I just bruised up my arm. But I seen him a few years later, and he said my handprint was on his exhaust. Because it was, 1.5 stroke, big, and he said my handprint was on his exhaust.
Yeah.
So he luckily sort of clipped. He clipped my helmet with his forks, and then his exhaust landed there. So that was like a comeback race after having my shoulder operated on, and I don't want to comeback race, but you're coming back from injury.
Yeah.
And then that happens in practice with a bike seizing, and it's just
another little knock in it when you're trying to get going.
That was nobody's fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. Obviously, it wasn't James's fault. It wasn't a mechanic's fault. It's just one of those things. The bike seized, tightened up as I was going over the thing. I looked at the marshal. She even looked at. I'm sure it was a she. She looked at me, and I thought, she's seen me. So I just stopped. And as I'm just about to get off the bike, James hits me. So she was still looking down the marshal at the.
But it is funny how things happen, isn't it? I think it's a big head game when you're in the space when you know you need that confidence, and so many things can fucking come along and just derail you, and then you're starting from scratch.
You just need momentum, though.
Yeah,
you need good practice days, good race days, and if you're scoring points or not scoring points, you just need to get better each and just get your confidence back and get in a roll and get some momentum, just momentum.
Yeah,
and you lose that and have a couple of weeks out from injury, and then come back and then have another couple of weeks out from injury, and it's hard.
But I think that is the thing. I mean, we've three of us been talking today, and I think when you finish, you're actually at that probably most vulnerable state you've been at for 10, 8, however many years you've been racing. All of a sudden it's gone, and you're not in the best fucking I'm alright actually headspace before you go out into the big wide world anyway. So you do a couple of things, you do fuck all, or you go completely mental, and then you start realising pub and everything else.
You're getting your buzzes elsewhere, and it can end up getting you in trouble, can't it?
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it is the difference between greatness and good.
Yeah.
Between greatness and good is the people that do go through them.
Yeah, it is.
I have finished 15th, but fuck it, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Look at Hurlings.
Do you know what I mean? I want one of them guys. I want one of them kids.
No.
If I weren't finishing where I was finishing for 13 years of my life, I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know. And that's, was the difference between me and Colner. Me and Stephen Saul. Me and all them boys in my class that went on. That's the difference. They had the stronger mindset. This mountain bike lark. How did the mountain biking come about, boys? I know how it's come about for me. It's very addictive. It's so addictive.
Wow.
Well, you live in the forest, don't you?
I live in the forest, yeah. And
what else is there to do in the forest?
Yeah, and we were saying earlier on, like we hung out a lot toward the end of our racing as well, probably a lot more than everything else. And then literally the racing finished, and you cut all ties with everything. I mean, we never spoke for years, did we?
Yeah,
really?
not for any reason.
Not any reason. It's just a complete disconnect. Anything related with a motorbike was gone.
Yeah.
And then we kind of hooked up a little bit, didn't we?
When was it? 2015, 2014?
Yeah.
Before we had electric bikes.
Yeah.
So
And we just started thinking,
pedal.
this would be fun. And he was shit then, Leon. He was shit and he was really unfit and it was brilliant. So I'd invite him out all the time.
And now you don't invite him out anywhere.
And then he just came to, he used to come down the forest for a pub lunch and a pint. And now I get dragged up here when he's up here practicing every fucking weekend and goes, look at that big jump. Nah. It's one of those things, I think, where it's easy it's easy in the sense you can grab a bike, come up here, it's you know, set
well, you
up
go
like
out,
this.
you go out inside your front door. I can go out my front door a couple of miles on my trails.
Yeah.
And you can just have a morning. With motocross, it's never a morning or an afternoon, it's a full day, isn't it?
Whole day.
And the reality is, it's something that makes your fucking heart beat faster, isn't it? It's something that makes you go shit and scares you, because everyday life doesn't tend to do that, and I think you crave it. I think we're all going to crave that until I don't know when, but
it's the curse.
So this is, and it also, like, it's so different. You're learning it all the time. It's not the same as riding a motocross bike. It is completely different. So you do feel a bit of a learner with no pressure.
Have you not enjoyed that though?
Yeah.
That's one
massively.
When I first went out,
learning to jump on these.
It was like when I first went out. When I got back, I was like, I said, so I love this because I'm at a stage where I'm doing things for the first time again. And it was amazing. I'm like, oh, I've just done that jump for the first time. Well, I've just done a gap. It's awesome, isn't it? It's like, it's this amazing feeling.
And for me, the nicest thing about it, because I dabbled a little bit with motocross again, sort of probably 6 years ago.
Right.
And
when you did Farley, didn't you?
Yeah,
you had a full
and it sounds really stupid. You go out riding, it's going, oh, smart. Expectations straight a fucking way. You don't touch a bike. I don't practice the bike in the week, and then there's that almost, you know, your brain goes, right, okay, this is nice, and then your body's going, you're joking, you haven't rode for like, you have no idea, you can do 2 laps, half a bit, and then you got like a mug for the rest of the race. So doing this game, this mountain bike thing, no one knows you, no one gives you shit.
Yeah.
And it's just something nice and new.
It's lovely
and accessible to get into,
and you can do it at your own pace. When you're on a motocross track, you're going round and round and round, and you've got to hit all your markers and everything. With the mountain bike, you've got a certain section, so you hit the jumps, you hit the corners, and then you'll stop and have a talk about it, and then sort of, let's do that again or go somewhere else. And it kind of breaks it. It's very more, for me, it's a lot more sociable.
It definitely,
mountain biking. I'm not saying the motocross paddock is very sociable, but actually riding a motocross bike, it's just you on that bike for 20 minutes. Hitting your markers, hitting everything. Build into something.
You're in a motocross bike, everyone's watching you. You can be watched for a whole lap. You can piss up and make a mess of it. Whereas this game, no one really sees you, and at the bottom it's all on the description. Oh, did you see that? I was like this and like that. I reckon you're doing more of that on a mountain bike than you've ever done on a motocross bike, because no one's seen it. It's like, oh, it's that close to a tree, and it's like it's more of a, it's social, isn't it? It's a crack. You're talking
it's not
shit.
Very egotistical.
No.
It's
no,
not.
It can be, but
it's like, it can. Of course, it can. Of course,
but
it can
I know what
be,
you
but
mean.
You're out there.
It's more of a
social.
social.
No one's watching you. You're flying down the tracks.
And
like
we're not spring chicks doing it, so you're not coming from a basis of, I'm going to be brilliant at this in a year's time. You're coming at this from it is what it is. We're doing what we're doing. There's a couple of little challenges along the way, but you know, like today, I spent most of the day shitting myself again thanks to this mug.
You did it though, didn't you?
Yes, thanks, Chris.
Well done, love.
Oh, we've had a great day, mate.
Yeah.
Great day. It's been awesome up here, man. It's been awesome, mate. He's just too good, and I don't like it.
Me neither. Welcome to my world. You weren't in his group, I was.
Quality, boys.
Yeah.
When you did ride, when you was racing at the peak of your career, when you was at the highest of the highs, how did you keep yourself, for one, mentally fit, mentally strong, keep yourself in the game? What did you do outside of the sport to keep you mentally fit? And what did you do outside of the sport to keep you physically fit? And did both of them work for each other?
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything else. That was like it was. I was lucky. We had a bit of land next to the house, so we had a little track in there. So that was
awesome.
like two or three nights a week after school.
Till the neighbours complained.
Till the neighbours complained, 'cause it was a little bit too close to the community. And running, but
Running.
this is the hard bit. Yeah, I used to love running all the time. But I'm sure we all were. But my old chap, when I think your parents are, like, he was really good mentally with me. He would always, like, because he wanted you to do well, but it was never too pushy. The pushiness was you doing it. Come on. The pushiness was not giving up.
That's the encouragement. I wouldn't say that's important.
Yeah, it was. Like, it was totally all the time, and he knew. And the biggest critics, they know if you're not riding your best. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it was always turning it over, and I was always coming because I was like a group behind him, and I started quite late. So it was always a catch up for me, and I was catching up right up until about probably 93. So I was in the hundreds. I was all right. It was.
Well,
good
you
in
won
that.
the hundreds.
I won the hundreds, yeah. And then in the seniors, because I was like a year split, I was with the younger ones, and then we'd catch up. But it was always I'd always have someone to aim at. So every weekend it was like, oh, fucking hell, it was like, I'm fifth, he's first, and then the next weekend or like a few weekends later, it's like, you're getting close second, he's not that far, and it's that gradual little, and then you gate together and you stick with for a little bit, and you've got some in the back going, right, it's better, isn't it? Come on, and you start getting pissed off, and then you think, I'm pissed off because I think I want to. All right, hang on then. It's getting a bit more like in your realm to do it, and I think it's that because you were like in the top few, weren't you? Right, pretty much through like 80s, 100s, and all the rest of it.
It's through the schoolboys, yeah.
Yeah, and then so it was like more of a kind of achievement thing every year for me. Was getting better and better and better until like probably 93 was our best year, wasn't it? Really.
Well, you were peaking at that champions.
What our wonderful track talk walk.
And I said to him,
fucking listen to this.
We walked the track and we're like, there's.
He's my arch net, right? Seriously, we rode.
I'm trying to help you.
We rode the Champion of Champions, or was it the BSMA? Which was Roxton, the BSMA finals.
One of those.
He spanked me at the BSMA finals, right? I had him in a couple of races. I'll send you the video.
Yeah,
it's close.
I want to see the video.
Yeah, I want to see the video. You only get on Photoshop, but it was quite good. And I came off in front of him. And broke my thumb. So that was my little.
I can remember that because I can remember your Fox body armour hitting the deck and moving, and I'm like, ooh, and it was rock hard.
Yeah. It's like schoolboy was always like 3 races: BSMA finals, Champion of Champions, and ACU finals. All British.
All British. The BSMA,
And so the next one was Torrington, which was the Champion of Champions.
Yes.
So, going up in the van, it was like Dad was like, right, okay, one to him, get one. Take it to a decider, and by this point we're good mates anyway. So we're like walking the track, and they got the like a quad down the bottom, didn't they? In the right boggy bit down the bottom.
Well, it was a double into a big, like a whoop double into like a bigger jump to stop you going straight through, and then sort of more doubles.
Yeah.
And we were looking at it and going, right, you double into that, and we're like, yes, okay. And I just remember saying in park. In the line for practice, you were going, what should we do it? Should we do? I was like, Mark, it's very greasy. Just take it easy.
Which in my head I took as don't do that, and I thought right then.
So we were off in front of me.
We wait for everybody to go anyway. Last.
Yeah. You went out in front of me. When you come to it,
I was trying to peacock, wasn't I?
He went to pop it, and it was grease, so he didn't have no power. It slid. He took the front wheel on the second one, and then he went straight into the third one with his knee,
hip out.
And his hip come out, and I can remember seeing it and thinking that didn't look that bad a crash, but he was squealing. So I said to the ambulance, have a look at him. So I did another lap and come back round, and he was in exactly the same position, and I was like, right, that's trouble.
Yeah.
Because you move around, but when you don't move, you vert. And it was exactly the same. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh shit, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think. One at Linton old man got
John
you.
Linton
John
and that, and then
got you.
Kevin Diamond's parent was in Barnstable Hospital for a very bit then. But it was like it was getting to the stage where it was going good, and then I had like a couple of years of it just flip-flopping, and it's right at the worst time because you're about to go adult.
And it was so unlucky because that for you was in practice.
Yeah.
So when I'd season James Bacon's practice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like even a small injury like a collarbone break. It's nothing really.
Yeah.
4 weeks off, you're fully fine. But that's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Where you're not riding, you're not training, and then you've got
And everyone else is getting
exactly.
better.
So you're
You feel like you're missing out, and you're always.
That's what my dad always used to say to me. He was like, well, the more time you have off, it's not about how your fitness.
No.
It's about how fast everyone else is getting while you're not working.
Yeah.
And I think
it's so true. When you're not doing nothing, everyone else is progressing.
It's a lot for a teenage kid to take on board.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot, and as much as your parents are behind you and everything else, you know by the age of 15, 16, 17 how important it is to be riding well, because it's not cheap. And you want everybody on your side, and you want to be finishing the top, and you do start to put pressure on yourself when you start to see it as a whole sport.
I still do.
Yeah.
At 42, I still do. But now I have tools in my box to just say, well, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You don't got to...
No.
just not today though, Liam. Was it?
just not today. So this is a sort of not a double-barreled question, but it's whether it's been within your sport or within your life. Throughout your life, mostly within your sport, what was the biggest struggle that you had? Whether it's with yourself or whether it was the wrong bike or couldn't get the sponsorship, whatever it was. What was the biggest, hardest thing for you to come through, and how did you deal with that? How did you get through that? How did you keep pushing through?
I think the motocross side of it is it's generally an injury that shuts the door for a little bit, and then you've just got to reset yourself, haven't you? And at the time it happens, like everything in life, it's the worst possible thing. It's the biggest thing that can possibly happen. Life's over. And then you go, either yourself or have people around you to just kind of slow you down a little bit and think, right, hang on, it's all right, get a plan in place and see what you're going to do. And it's about looking forward. And I think pretty quick, the first couple of times you're injured, you're right, okay, so a couple of weeks like that, then it's 3 weeks like that, and you're looking forward to progressing all the time so you can get back at it. And then when you're back at it, the excitement quickly disappears into, can do. How good am I now? Because you already are your biggest critic in this sport, aren't you? Am I still good enough to do what I was doing? Because I now want to, and I think you commit, and the first couple of times it happens, it's fine. By the third time, it just starts to kind of grate a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think shit in life happens, and you do, or I have similar stuff. Something pretty severe goes wrong, your world ends. That's it. And then you need to be able to take yourself away from it, take a deep breath, and go, do you know what? Actually, that little bit is, it's bad right now, but on the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture, is it really going to is it going to knock you off your life forever? No, but at the time, I think, as I don't know, people who race as well, I just think you get into such a passionate place with yourself that when something goes wrong, it goes fucking wrong, and you hit bottom quick.
Yeah.
I do. Like recently, with my old man passing away, that ruined it for me, because I was enjoying riding bikes again actually at that point. But you just don't. I straight off the deep end, and that was me for 12 months, just completely fucked. And you don't. It's hard to pick yourself up because you assume nobody else knows how you feel. I think as well, and you got to let the odd people in and help you out, and it's tricky. You just got to kind of. I think when you're younger, it's all over. It's the worst thing. You have temper tantrums and all the rest of it. And the older you get, you just got to start going. You just got to take a step back and hope that you kind of see a bit of a better picture at the other end of it, so it doesn't squash you down there for too long.
Yeah.
But as far as motocross goes, I'd definitely say confidence. Because when I went to ACU, the riders, say the odd two from ACU, like Tony Marshall, Austin Kemp, if they were racing BSMA, I'd be racing with them at the front.
Yeah.
We'd go to ACU, and it'd get in my head that these are better, and then I'd be sort of 6th or 7th while they're still at the front. And next week they could do a BSMA, and I'd be at the front with them. Yeah. And so I just remember that, I won't say any names, but there's a couple of riders, they were so full of confidence. I just remember thinking, not at the time, but after, I really needed a bit of that.
Yeah.
Whether I could back it up or not, you just need. Sometimes it's about like faking it as well, you know,
Yeah.
not faking it, but just
You got to act that way, haven't
Yeah,
you? You got to be in that way. And little do you know that actually everyone's feeling exactly the same. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They just have that persona.
Yeah.
Where you find it hard some weekends to hide it, and you rock up and you just think, and then you got other kind of everyone else kind of peacocking around. You think, fuck, they're fine. I'm actually not fine. They're probably not fine. They're just acting it up in a different way. But it gets in your head, and you just want that.
So the riders I got in my mind, like you'd all know them, and they're nice chaps, but they just had that oozing confidence, whether they were winning or not, and just a bit of a strut. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of lacked that. Like I think some people thought I was a little bit arrogant, but that was because I was shy. I was never really out there, the one to go and talk to people or you know, I'd talk, but I was just generally shy. You know, it was nothing. Yeah, nothing more than that really. Just shy. And then I can remember Tony Marshall racing in the 80s, and we finished the race. We got red flagged, and we were he was in Stepside in Tenby, and it was Danny Veal that went down, and Stephen Poole hit him in the back, and hurt his back. Everything was fine, but they red flagged the race, and he went like that, put his hand out, shaking my hand, and I was like, what? 11 or 12 and my old man had taught me to shake hands and everything, but you weren't shaking hands with your peers, you know, with other 11-year-olds, and he put his hand out, and I think I put my left to his right and did some sort of stupid thing. I was like, what was that? But he was so like confident and so like older than
his years type
yeah
thing.
older than his years than I was at the time.
How did you deal with it? How did you push through?
Went to the BSMA and won.
Avoided him.
That's how you dealt with it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Love it.
Because I had no success in the ACU really, and I think my parents saw that, and they sort of stopped doing it. We just did the BSMA, and then we did a couple of the British Championships when I was still in the BSMA, and did all right. But the injuries physically weren't really an issue. It was up there. Like 3 months downtime after since the age of 8, you've raced every weekend, unless you have a little injury and you have like 3 or 4 weeks off. But 3 months was the longest time I had had without racing bikes, and it not changed me, but I just sort of opened my eyes to the world a little bit.
What do you think? I mean, you're both within the teaching community, so you both got like an open brain to helping others, and I'm very similar. I worked in the same similar industry for 11 years. And what do you think sport can do?
You want kids to get into sport from a health point of view, like as sportsmen from whatever sport is. You want your kids to do well at something, whether that's swimming, running, football, whatever it is, bikes, whatever. And the kids get involved in it because you're kind of pigeonholing them a little bit and helping them kind of find something to do. And the only time any kid does any good at any sport is when they want to do it. So when they get that kind of, do you know what? And the only reason they want to do it is because they think, I'm quite.
They've probably got a little bit of natural talent.
And they
a little bit of natural talent and the keenness.
But then I think that's a beautiful thing to start to grow with kids, is that you start to go right, and then that's when you get, like, you know, as we all have been blessed with lovely parents that have gone, right then, full in, let's do it. So then you're still, the kids, us, we're still super motivated to do it for ourselves. It's something you want to do. So you take a kid that's doing weekend football, doing absolutely nothing, they start getting picked for the team, they're getting all excited, this is brilliant. Never going to play for like Premier League, but they're excited about sport itself. So that kind of confidence it gives them to go out and like puff the chest out a little bit and go, you know, I'm going to do
in the real world as well.
And that's what it does.
Sport.
I think what it does for us, I think we've all struggled with certain things of like a little bit off kilter with things like that, but now we would all know how to walk into a room and actually go, you can put that on to a sense where you go in thinking, I can do all right with this, I can, you know, I'll manage my way around this. But I think sport is overlooked. Everyone these days, I think it'd be savage to be a kid at the minute. Because kids want to kind of, you know,
I'd love to be a kid again.
But I think sport's looked at now as elitism and not just what it does for you. I think what it did for us, I don't think us being really good at it did it. I think what did us good was doing the sport in the first place. You get that self-confidence, like you were saying earlier. You learn that you're good at it. You then have that inner belief and that self-drive to go out running in the shitty rain, fucking riding around in the winter, slop mud. Most kids wouldn't go out the door in some of the shit that we rode in, but we wanted to go out and ride in it. Yeah. That all then gets a bit muzzy.
Yeah.
But I think what it does give you is a massive amount of stuff to fall back on. I think the older you get, you fall back on that, and you fall back on things that you used to do and used to be able to do. I do it now, but I think, and all the time I'm going, right, when I was 15, man, I wouldn't stop until I was thrown up.
Yeah.
And you think, if I could do it, then I can do it now. I'm the same person, just get your head into it and do it. And I think you do, or I do, I pull on little bits, even so long ago when you're a different human, but I think that's what it does for you. It lets you... It lets you go back to a strength that you know you had. It does.
Sure,
and I think kids need that. It's not the sport, it's not being amazing at it, it's them having that. I'm good at something, I believe in myself, I can drive myself.
And I can improve myself as well, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, where do kids get that from?
Yeah.
Again, we're lucky with family, they did it for us. They, you know, they did keep us going, but kids that don't get that in schools and that, school doesn't do that, lessons don't do that. They actually, you know, as soon as you get something, they give it hardest, they make it fucking even, make you feel like shit 'cause you don't know it.
Yeah.
But sport is a bit that you can improve on your own.
Yeah.
You can go and kick a ball against the wall, you can go and ride a bike down the park, you can go and do something, and it's on you. I think that stuff is where we were lucky that we found something to give us that kind of inner belief side of it.
Maybe one of your questions earlier, I think it's the accepting failure. Because, do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong.
No.
All right, we give it our best shot.
Yeah.
Our head wasn't in the right place. We should have trained a bit harder.
Yeah.
But it's no biggie, and not everyone cares.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we care, our parents care, and a lot. But nobody else really.
No.
I think maybe sometimes we think, not too much of ourselves, but too much of people looking in, or judging you. When
no one is.
When they're not.
No one cares, do they? No one's bothered. It's only you that cares.
I ain't got time to worry about you.
No.
Or Ben.
Oh, Leon, come on.
I've got to worry about me, my baby, my kid, my mum, my dad, my brother. It's like,
and everyone's the same.
Everyone's the same.
Yeah.
They're not all run. They're not for years later going that Mark Hook. He could have been one. If he just, you know, there's nobody saying that. You know,
no one.
But they might come up in conversations, but like in the flash in the pan sort of thing.
But more and more, everybody lives inside their own head, don't they? There's no outreach anymore at all. Like even like the year of the pub, all that, like it's all slowing down. The socialising part of it. Facebook is all, you know, you still got to be. It's all like it almost paints this like not perfect, but it's it's a lovely picture. And actually, most people, the older, you know, it's like the older you get, the more shit you've got to. And I'm really lucky. I've had a great life, but and that's when you've had a good life. You know, other people that are just, you know, they're on the face of it, they are loving life and everything else, and they're probably in fucking utter hell. Yeah. But they never say anything. They never tell you.
Don't judge someone's life by Instagram.
You can't, can you?
No.
And
I think to look at.
Have you done one today? It's been a great day.
I'm waiting for you to send me that.
Yeah.
I think that learning how to see failure as, I mean, you don't learn when you win.
No.
You learn nothing.
Yeah.
You learn zero.
No, you're right there.
You learn when you lose, or you learn when, if I drop that bottle and smash it, I'm going to make sure that I put that bottle there instead of on the edge.
Yeah.
Because I've learned through smashing it.
It's just learning from your mistakes, isn't
you learn from your mistakes, but I stopped hating my mistakes a long time ago, and that changed my life. Like, I see if something goes wrong now, it's so hard, it's so hard to do. But if something goes wrong now, I try my hardest. He'll tell you different. He'll tell you different because he's seen me in my bad moments. I'm shouting and screaming, I'm F this, F that, and you got to slow down, take it all down to zero. You know what have we got to take from this situation that's going to help us next time? Fuck all the negative shit. Let all that go. Let it go. Let it go into the back of your head and let it move on. But take failure as like all of these Olympic champions. You know, all of these world record breakers. All of these millionaire sportsmen. they didn't start by winning.
No.
No, they didn't.
And they've had
They
failures
started
all the
off
way
by
through their
falling
life.
off the surfboard,
Yeah.
or crashing the mountain bike, or twisting their ankle trying to sprint, and that's where they learn.
Yeah.
That's where all the learning's done. But unfortunately, I think the younger you are, the harder it is to digest that. It's very hard to.
I think these days as well, it's not as bad at the minute, but a few years back it was all this kind of like non-competitive, just partake.
Yeah.
Again,
It still is with kids football and
we
rugby,
were a little bit lucky, I think, that even at a young age we had the kind of encouragement, but you were also told if it wasn't going very well.
Absolutely.
because you wouldn't get a trophy at the end.
And you
You
doubt,
see kids walking off with a trophy, but like, why have I got one of them?
and you dealt with it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You dealt with it at such a young age. These days, it's like someone's coming and goes, "Oh, I'm like it with my own son." Oh, mate, don't worry about it. It was brilliant,
Well
you
done.
know. You were amazing. It probably wasn't, but you do it naturally. But
man.
when we were kids, when we were in that thing, it was like, not good.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Yeah.
going on?
That's a sign of the times,
sure.
that is, I think.
It
I
is,
think
isn't
was
it?
80s.
It was said slightly different to you.
Yeah.
Not being very good.
But I don't think it helps people because it's not going to make them robust, is
course
it?
not.
You're
No,
going to have more and more of this.
It's
where
that
people
fine
are gonna
line,
find
though.
it hard to do. you
Fine
know.
line of being hard on a sportsman, but not knocking it out of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to encourage to a point
Yeah.
and push them,
Yeah.
but then, like you've
Yeah.
probably seen it in the football, you get some kids, they don't want to be there. Like,
You got to treat every single different kid differently.
Yeah,
'cause
but some
every
kids don't wanna
single
be
one
there.
works different.
No.
It's like,
Yeah,
I know,
they're there
what
because
can
their
you do?
parents have taken them there, or they've got an invested interest in doing it.
Yeah.
Same with motocross. You go to motocross. I mean, it's always been the same, but these days, you got people rocking out with their really tiny little kids on a bike and screaming their heads off. And I know what happened when we were younger, but it is worse.
What's that?
They
What's
run around
that?
the track more than the kids go around the fucking track. Looping.
Or that.
Come on. Yeah.
I should calm down.
Yeah.
See, my dad is always give me the clap.
Yeah.
Or, come on, boy. Like,
Yeah.
he never,
Yeah.
like, but always advised, but
Yeah.
always told me when I weren't doing something
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
my old man, and I used to hate this, would do the pull the finger out, pull your finger out. And I can
Yeah.
remember that a couple of British championships. I'm like, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
really,
My finger's out.
I'm
My
it is
finger
out.
is out.
Yeah.
and I'm going to crash if I go any faster.
My worry, look, I was the pit board was my majesty.
That's it. Yeah.
The pit,
yeah.
but if I knew I was doing well because he was keen on the pit board, if I was
Yeah.
doing shit, he wouldn't
He
even
was
lift it
hitting you
up.
with it.
He wouldn't even lift it up. It was like, fucking shit in it. There's no
I'd
point
get
telling you where you
silence.
are. As soon as you're in double
I
figures,
would-
it doesn't count,
yeah.
does it? It's like,
I get
it's gone.
silence. But
Yeah.
I think I get that more now than when I was a kid because now I'm a dad
Yeah.
and I get it.
Change it does change.
Get why
Yeah,
my
yeah,
dad
yeah,
was
yeah.
like that because
Yeah, 100%.
when I'm trying to show Ruby something, she's 2 and a bit, like so she's learning everything every day.
Slip in the
when
clutch
I,
and
when I slip in the clutch, yeah. When I'm trying to show her something, like I want her to do it great. I want her to
Yeah.
be really good at it.
Yeah.
I want her to get on her bike and I want
Yeah.
her to be really good at riding.
Yeah.
But you
I want
wanted
her
to be
put
really.
on her shoes and be really good at running.
Yeah.
Because that's just.
Do you want her to be
being a
really
dad,
good at
innit?
it,
It's
or
just being a
do you want her
dad.
to be really good at it, or do you want her to feel how good it is to be good at it?
Bit of all of
Because
that.
with me
All
and my
of
boy,
that, yeah,
I
all of
don't
that.
care
Yeah,
if you're
all
good
of
at
that.
whatever you're good at. I just want you to feel how good it is to be good at it.
Yeah, and
and to
enjoy it.
be
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and to feel that content with yourself to go, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's not even what it is, and how that it's just that feeling of, you know. And like you said, no one really cares. No one's watching. It's only for that
Yeah,
person.
it's for you. It's
It
individual.
is. Yeah. It's not.
Something I picked up. I can't remember what it was off. I think it was UFC. I'm heavily into my UFC fighting, and I think it was a female fighter. Who was it? I think it was Misha Tate. She's just come back out of a very long retirement, and she was saying well, the guy said to her like, "How do you feel? You know, you're disappointed." And she was like, "This is just one moment."
Yeah.
One moment in my life, and there's been a million others.
Yeah.
I'm just going to forget about it and
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
What a frame of mind.
Yeah, it
man.
is.
What a
Yeah.
frame of mind.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But what people
it's
don't
obvious
re-
when
Yeah.
you say it out loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
But I don't think people are there naturally.
No.
I think it takes
100%
people a
not.
long time, a lot of shit
Yeah.
to go through
Yeah.
before they can go. Do you know what? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But before that, she's probably been in absolute pits of horror before those points. You've
sure.
got to do that sometimes to be able to get to the place where you can go, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It ain't easy.
Experience.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
What would you do, or what would you say to a 16-year-old you? If you could go back, what would you tell a 16-year-old you now? What
16.
You know? Or 17, like late
Yeah,
teens?
no, I was 16. Yeah. Get fitter.
Get fitter.
And as far as motocross goes, get fitter and then get fitter again.
Yeah.
And you cannot be too fit for motocross.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes, like I think you overtrained in little bits. So there's there's a science behind it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But my 16-year-old self racing motocross would be like, the women can wait. The beer is always going to be there. Get fit, and then get fit again.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That would be it.
What about you, okay?
I'd have stepped back from a proper pressure cooker of kind of adults or getting close to that, and just enjoyed it. So as soon as you felt the kind of pressure you put on yourself from it, it would have been nice to have had someone to have that kind of talking to you, so don't you spot it when you're that young. But it would be to find the love of it and not plough on as were, because I just carried on doing the same thing, training like a mule, thinking that'll make everything better, which it did make it better, but it knocked a bit of the fun out of it. And it would have been, relax, enjoy it, you're doing really, really well at this.
So kind of contracting stories, aren't they,
but
really,
you can,
it's personal.
it is, for me it was I already had it serious, too serious at that point, because I felt I needed to be really serious. For me, it would have been enjoy what you're doing. You're doing really well. Step off a little bit. Don't be so hard on yourself. Because I think I ended up doing myself in with it, really. Taking myself away from it. And then if that, I think the enjoyment side of it would have come back. And like anything, when you're enjoying it, you're riding freer, you're riding better, aren't you? Confidence comes back.
Absolutely.
Pressure's the worst thing in the world. And I think I'd put my own pressure on myself. So yeah, I'd have gone, shut up. You're enjoying it, you're doing all right. Stop being a big drama queen and look at it. Yeah.
Love it. When kids who are listening, see that bit of advice there. That's the two greatest bits of advice you probably ever could get given. Enjoy it and remember how to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And get fit.
Yeah.
Get fit.
100%.
100%.
As they sit here with 3 bottles of bike part wheels, wibbly wobbly brew. It is nice.
Just for show, there's nothing in there.
Yeah, we got e-bikes as well. Like, get fit. Yeah.
So we'll finish off. We finish off with our quick fire questions. If I can find them on my phone. We'll start off with 2-stroke or 4-stroke?
2-stroke.
Yeah.
Got to be 2-stroke.
Gotta be, innit?
Yeah,
Gotta be. He's gonna spoil it. He's not gonna spoil it.
You
You loved your 450, didn't you?
To ride, 4-stroke.
Yeah.
To race, nostalgia, 2-stroke every
Love
day,
it.
because you got to ride
Love
a
it.
2-stroke.
Yeah.
You can do.
I never raced a
4-stroke.
4-stroke.
Nah.
Never raced
I didn't do any good at it, but it is easier to ride.
Very easy to ride,
2 to race, 4 for
I'd say
fun.
very easy, but
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
2 to
love
race,
it.
4 for fun.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Hard pack or sand?
Can we say neither?
yeah. Ellsworth or Chippenham.
Yeah. Welsh people.
I'd have to say Chippenham.
Yeah,
I'd have to say
I'd go
sand.
sand,
yeah.
actually. Yeah, sand.
definitely.
Ellsworth was one of my faves, mate.
Yeah.
I loved it.
but
I loved it.
I never did well there.
On a
Blue
tacky
groove
day,
fucking hurts
on
though
a
when you
tacky
fall on it,
day.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof,
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely
Chico,
loved it.
Yeah.
Old school or new school?
Old school, but with hurlings, you can't help but admire the dude is amazing.
Amazing, isn't it?
Oh yeah. If it's a
Incredible.
motocross side,
Yeah, that's motocross. Even with everything, I'm not one of these people who want to stay in the past, but
No.
it's got to be old school and new school.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
got-
yeah.
Bit of both.
Yeah,
Nice.
it has to be. Yeah,
Nice,
because
I
you've
like
got to.
it.
Yeah, and especially if it's a bike thing, when you see what people are doing on these bikes now and the speed they do stuff.
If you've
just
watched
think,
Hurlings when he's on it,
it's
it's what he's
insane.
doing on a bike. Is
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
Incredible. So, what's the next one? Crisps or chocolate?
Crisps.
Yeah?
crisps.
man.
Yeah,
Every time.
yeah,
All day,
crisp.
all day.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Am
You
I
can't,
weekly?
can't eat chocolate when you're drinking a beer, can you?
No, get stuck in your teeth, doesn't it? Chocolate crisps are all right.
Quality. 125 or 450?
450.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
450.
Yeah.
16, 125.
For me now, 450.
Yeah, 100%.
Because my brain can't keep up with how many
No.
gear changes you got to change on a 1 to 5.
I wish I felt like that. I can't get it out of my bloody system, a 125.
Yeah, but I'm sick when I rode a
get
little
my
bit. I'm
system.
sick of really poor. This is going to sound really bad. Not brilliant riders that don't look after themselves going back me like that on a 450.
Well,
You're like
wringing
wringing
the neck
the
of a
neck,
125.
trying to move it, and I just go.
That's welcome to my last 12 months.
Yeah, man, it sucks. I'm sticking with 450.
And after for my
Yeah.
mentality though, mate, it's
Yeah.
really made me stronger up there. This
Yeah.
It really, really has. Racing or practice?
Now,
Either or either.
practicing with mates.
Yeah.
Being out with buds. Being
Yeah.
out. We had a couple of good little rides out. We went out over the Tourmarin, didn't we, a few years back?
Yeah.
And just riding around. But then as you're practicing, halfway through the day, your brain switches to race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do with us, didn't it?
Yeah.
You just straight away and naturally. The only reason you like practicing is because you like riding. The only reason you like riding is because you want to go race and win.
Yeah.
Straight
It's
away.
racing,
it goes
100%
practicing.
for me.
Yeah.
Racing, love practicing, but when you're at a track where you love the bike's good, you're good,
Yeah.
it's just nothing better. Nothing
Yeah,
beats it.
I'm the same, man.
Nothing
Yeah.
beats it.
No.
I started off really enjoying practicing,
Yeah.
and I done my first race, and I was like, now I know why I wanted to come and race.
Yeah.
It's racing all day long. That feeling of the
Yeah.
prep, scrutineering, signing
Yeah.
on, going in on the stats. It's
Yeah.
all part of it.
Yeah,
Love
wicked.
it. Love it. Racing at home or abroad?
It's got to be at home. I did shocking abroad. You did alright in America, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't do well. It was just so much better. It just brings you on so much faster.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think you abroad, no one knows you. There is, and that's that
No
kind of
judgment.
Well,
No,
that's how
yeah.
I had a really good year because I went out to America and no one knew me, so no one had any expectations. Everyone thought you were shit, so you are back to your own raw self. If I want to do any good, it's on me.
Amazing. Man.
And that was the bit. And then you come back home and it's like you're here, you're expected to be in the top 3. Pressure on, let's go. So abroad for me, I think actually out the way of it all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Beer tent or early night?
Now,
I know the
Towards-
answer now.
Towards the twilight of my career was the beer tent.
Yeah.
I can remember the
Yeah.
team events.
yeah,
I think you were allowed a shandy then.
Yeah,
weren't you?
I was allowed
Yeah.
a shandy then, yeah,
Yeah.
mate. I was allowed a shandy.
Yeah.
Love it, mate.
Yeah.
Love it. I was always an early nighter when I
Yeah.
rode.
Interesting fact.
Or it was either that or running around turning generators off.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was you, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
me and Matty Beagle.
The last time me and you were in the field together, previous to the reunion in
Yeah.
September,
Yeah.
was '93, Maysmore.
Right, okay.
The team
cool
event.
track.
Yeah.
Really cool track.
Would it
yeah,
be
yeah.
that, or would you have crossed? Because
That's the
you-
one that's just I found online, I think it is.
Yeah.
It was up Bridgestone under there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were still a schoolboys '94,
yeah.
and then '95. I don't know if we would have crossed paths. Like,
Yeah.
So,
That was a
because I
good
remember
that was
seeing.
a good weekend, man.
I remember seeing it on Facebook because the
Yeah.
East Kent, didn't they have their?
That's it. Red Devils, wasn't
They
it?
did their own video, didn't
That's
they?
it, yeah. It's online.
And that come out, and I was just making me think. I'm sure that's the last time Leon and
Yeah.
me were in the same field
Yeah, probably
prior
was.
to September.
I'm glad you had a nice time. I was in Gloucester Royal just across the road. Lay on my back and my fucking leg in traction.
Was that? Oh, was
That was the same
event
time.
was the end,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was Maysmore.
Yeah.
Well, people were coming in after
That's
fucking
right.
racing, visiting me, go, oh, mate, I'm like, screw
I
you.
think I did as well. I think we
Yeah,
all
you did. You
Yeah,
all
I
did.
think we all
Yeah.
did.
I got pictures of people coming in going, and I'm like, I'm fucking dying here. Grey, constipated, and like, oh
Hey,
god.
No.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, Bridgestone or Dunlop?
Bridgestone.
Yes.
You were Dunlop head.
I think I'd done up his Bridgestone as well. So toss a coin for that one, really.
Right, and that's it. That's it for the questions today, boys. I want to finish off by saying thank you so much.
No worries,
No,
been a
thanks,
pleasure.
man.
Yeah, thanks
it's
for
been
coming up,
wicked.
man.
Thanks for
Making
the
the
invite.
effort.
So good.
Yeah, it's wicked.
We've got to get out on a social run up here again and
Yeah,
just
definitely.
just ride around.
Well, in the
It'd be
summer,
Yeah.
they scoped the camp out at your place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
that's
the
it.
Forest of Dean and
Awesome,
have a.
man.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
bring the boys. I've got an avid bunch of lads that love
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
mountain biking. But
Yeah.
We could do Saturday at yours,
Yeah.
camp there, and then head up here for
job
Sunday.
done.
Done.
Look at that.
That's it.
Easy
Pencil
peasy.
in, tick.
Hopefully we can inspire many with this, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can keep this moving forward. And I look forward to spending some more time with you
Yeah,
in the future,
man.
boys.
Yeah, it's wicked. It's been great
Wicked,
fun.
man.
Nice one. It's been
Thank you,
wicked. It's been
man.
great time.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Cheers, buddy.
Brilliant, boys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cheers.
Nice one, boys.
Cheers. Cheers.
Hey.
Cheers.